Welcome back to the Overwatch League. There you go. I am talking. You can hear me as we head to Midseason Madness qualifiers here. Final week. We're in our final match of the day here as well. Myself and Avril with leg day here. And Guangzhou versus the Shanghai Dragons. So Dragons on a bit of a major tier, which I think you and Lemon Kiwi actually got to cover their return with Fate and Lijiang coming back in. Absolute pounding on that particular weekend. Really things haven't slowed down for the Shanghai Dragons. Guangzhou Charge have been on a pretty major loss streak though leg day, as I believe the loss streak is now sitting at 10 matches in a row.
Yeah, it's not great. Let's have a look at the starting lineup and try and see if we can dissect this. It's not quite a post-mortem yet. It's certainly a post-mortem for the first half of their season. Playoffs could still await, after all, if we see a truly anime turnaround for this team. And when I look at this roster, to me, as cruel as it sounds, it's been Guangzhou Charge existing and Choice A1 trying.
It is.
Choice A1 is...
It's
been the guy.
Various different members trying at various different times as well, because what we have had is, I think, good performances at times out of Krong Sigma, good performances at times out of Farways and Yada. Develop had been struggling for most of the season, but then I would even say that yesterday his Ashe was looking phenomenal. Despite some of his other picks being a little bit more lackluster, his Ashe has been looking fairly good, right? And Ashe is making a bit of a renaissance in this region as well with APAC. I don't know what beats Farway's bopping to right now. Wrong answers only in the chat, of course. But the Guangzhou Charge, they always, I said this on the cast yesterday with Achilles, but they're always good for one map. They are great at looking fantastic for just one map, give you a sliver of hope, and then they fall apart for the rest. So that's the biggest thing I want to see change, which is like, at least give me 2 maps, or give me enough that you can take a series. Unfortunately, their opponent's going to be the Shanghai Dragons, though, so maybe that charge will happen. Unlikely to happen this stage. I'd like to see them continue to at least have the consistency to get a map off the Dragons.
And here's the team that we've come to expect. The renaissance of a Shanghai Dragons, Fate returning. The calling power and the space-taking ability of this main tank has really been a turnaround, considering the lackluster performances that they had with Void, who by no means is a bad player, but it feels like the meta was not suiting Void very much. And also, we saw Lip as well, coming into his own. Once Fate got here, Lip's a player that has a considerable warm-up time. He has a lead time, Afro, whether it's on the Soldier or on the Sojourn. But once Lip has had enough time on a hero and has really dialed himself in, he has higher peaks than almost any other hit scan player when he's been practiced into that meta hit scan.
Yeah, I mean, Dragons have just kind of found all the cylinders that they require firing up of. Tried to shove that one in there, and hopefully it does kind of work. But Dragons, what's been working fine is the fact that past their 0-6 start, I mean, they have been pretty indomitable. The only, I don't know if you could even call this a hiccup, but the only sort of minor bump in the road has been that Chengdu game of yesterday that was very close, actually, very competitive. Certainly more winnable than Chengdu than most people would give them credit for. Wish we saw that version of Chengdu today, but Chengdu definitely have their on and off days. Unfortunately, today would have been more of an off day. Dragons, though, seems like after that 0-6 start, every single day's been an on day, and today versus Charge, really it shouldn't be any different, but I still want to see a little bit of competitive fire out of the Charge, especially because, well, they don't have much to play for in terms of qualifications, but they have their season record to play for, playoffs qualification to play through as well, and they, I mean, damn it, just break the loss streak, if anything, just to make an attempt at that.
I think what Guangzhou Charge really need to do to break the loss streak is have Farway dye his hair. Like, at the moment, bit of an oddball. As the resident hair dyeing guy of our casting crew, I think if Farway joins the Platinum gang...
You could just get in there.
Yes! We'll put me in on flex support. The Junkrat Winston main. I'm sure I'll do great. I can take flatter any day of the week. Call me. My agents will set up a fight.
One of those YouTuber fights. YouTube gaming.
Wouldn't fight Lip, though. That guy's a 7-foot gaming warlord.
8'9" again. We remember the source where that came from. Me. That's right, fellas. Don't forget it.
I did the measuring. It was my measuring tape.
My eyes have measuring tapes, and I measured him on my screen. So yeah, people keep saying, I don't know, I'm annoyed from people. People keep saying like different numbers. No, there's the one number, stick to it. Alright, I said what it is. Charge versus Dragons. Lijiang Tower is going to be our opening map here. And it was the best look for Charge yesterday when they played. So I'm hoping that, you know, okay, Fusion's a different tier of team. Let's be honest. Dragons are probably better than Fusion at this stage. Not a hot take. But Charge looked more than competitive on that map. And this is where I want to see them recreate that magic to maybe get a map win.
Yeah, we saw, if I remember correctly, the developed Tracer yesterday on Lijiang Tower, which is not a classic hero for develop, always been a bit more of a hard-hit scan as far as I can remember. And as I stand back up to go on camera, because I had a little bit of a sit-down.
Developed Tracer,
my legs don't last
talking about?
Yeah, the developed Tracer.
He did play it in Contenders, and for the one map that he came in last year for the Dragons, as that's an interesting point to make as well. He is an ex-Shanghai Dragons player, so he is playing against all of his former teammates. And Molly would have been as well if he was in this game, but he's now on the Chengdu Hunters, so he actually did that yesterday. In any case, Develop on his one map that he played through with the Dragons last year, played the Busan Sanctuary on Tracer. So yeah, there it is.
Yeah, it felt like Shanghai always sort of like, they had some developmental, for want of a better word, like aspirations for develop, but Shanghai Dragons, a little bit of downsizing this year, just focusing in on that core roster that they have and sort of like trimming the extraneous double-ups, like no more Molly, no more develop, just relying mostly on like the Fate.
Oh, they've gone from 4
Void
DPS to
and
3. Oh my goodness, this team. Wow.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
he'll
you
take
definitely had some interesting moments as well.
Do you know, at one stage,
Oh, man,
Dragons used to have...
There's a recession coming out. We've got to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps.
Bench players, Dragons substitute players, at one point last year, was Erster and DM. Those were their bench players. Those two could have been starting on like multiple other lineups, and Dragons just casually had them on the bench. Now, they both ended up retiring, unfortunately. But it's just crazy, the slew of talent that was on this team, and didn't end up developing.
Imagine having Lucky Future Zenith as your B team. Oh, that's a throwback, isn't it?
That is a bit of a throwback. Chat doesn't know. All the Zoomers don't understand.
Yeah, chat needs to Google that. Watch some Lucky Future Zenith games in Chinese Contenders. Those were a hoot.
There's a grand final between them and LGD, which is what kind of...
Eileen's team,
which is, I can't remember if Eileen was, Gushui wasn't it, but that was my first time. I'm like, holy crap, this guy is the Primal Blade. Because that was when I kind of got, my eyes on that. But anyway, in any case, yeah, so Dragons have run through their gamut of players, but they stuck by their core 6, and, the Bebe experiment. They tried it. Didn't really go well for them. I actually think they did a great job at integrating Who Are You into the team this year, because last year, it was, the Flitter Lip Show the entire time. Granted, that's completely fair. They were fantastic. No room for the other DPS players to even come on in. This year, because we did have a Genji meta, Who Are You was integrated perfectly. So, well done to the Dragons team to be able to do that.
We've got a little bit of the Who Are You Tracer as well, which is a little bit surprising considering how good Flitter and, for my money, Lip are at that hero. I think that Lip's got a really underrated Tracer. Like, we saw it in some of the tournament arcs last year, which was, like, super impressive. I think that Lip is always someone who you need to worry about on that Tracer. And Lijiang, of course, he's always been a bit of an aggressive boy, whether it be on the Lucio or the Brigitte, and that lends itself well to going into a double flex support, where Lijiang can occasionally do some impressive Zenyatta things as well.
I mean, like, I think we're really seeing how flexible these teams are, or these players really on the Dragons roster are. We never really got to see too much of the Lijiang Zenyatta last. In fact, not at all, because that's Easy Sheriff from last year. It was the Brig Zen duo, right? And we saw like a very small smidgen of the Lip Tracer, and he mentioned this to Achilles on the cast yesterday, but his stats on that very small amount of Tracer was actually quite impressive, but we never got to see enough to prove, like, okay, was Lip like actually good on Tracer, or is he kind of just like, just a flash in the pan type of Tracer player? We never got to kind of prove his prowess on that one. So I'm glad we have a bit more of an opportunity this year to see where that is, and so far the Tracer's been reasonable. It's been pretty good.
All right. The Leg Day Avril Fill Hour is about done. I think we've recovered far away from the
If this goes any longer,
dimension
we're going to do mythology, okay? So...
Oh, man, you want to chat about Orpheus? I'd love to have a quick chat about Orpheus.
Oh, you said I thought you said Morpheus. I'm like, all right, we're just got to go straight to the Matrix here. I didn't know what type of mythology we're getting into. Are you talk? All right.
Which pill are you taking,
Avril?
straight to the red pill or the blue pill?
Oh, you said mythology? Oh, let me talk about my favorite mythology, the Matrix. No,
Ah, yes, the fables of Keanu.
Righto.
Let's talk about some Overwatch.
Okay, we will. Yeah, just confirming information. The LGD team from 2018 I'm talking about was Gooseray, Eileen, and Shy. Pretty cracked.
That's
pretty
team,
nice
man.
stuff. At one point as well. Okay, we're gonna keep going because we keep pausing here, and so the Matrix Revelation. No, but another thing is Yelshi, who was actually playing that team, is now the only coach on the Chengdu Hunters. So what did you think of Matrix 4? Honestly.
I am yet to watch it.
Okay, well, it's pretty skippable. I would say that you're not missing much, personally.
Wow.
So if you don't feel like watching
breathtaking?
You're definitely not missing a lot. We'll see if this is going to be the real deal now. Had a bit of pausing back and forth.
Nope.
Nope, not the real deal. Okay.
Bit of pausing ping pong, you know? To me, to you, to me, to you. Whatever Farway was jamming to has evidently broken the speakers, broken the headset, possibly broken his chair. That might need replacing. Got to wheel in a fresh gaming chair to make sure that you're at your tip-top performance. Can't game without the chair.
No. Farway jam. Can that be
so
an emote?
mythology?
We've been. I don't know if people have been keeping up with the 7TV emote meta that's been happening with the different despair emotes from about 5 different players now.
I'm a big fan of Hawk's despair.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real with you. I made Dia despair, so look that one up. I thought it was pretty good. Why Dia happy? Jimu happy. It was made by one of my subs, and also there's a few other like really good ones that have come on through. But I don't know. Faraway Bop, Faraway Jam. That was pretty hot. We'll get that one made, I think, today. Hopefully, upload it.
So we were talking about mythology. I wanna make an allegory here,
okay.
Avril, and while we have said that Guangzhou Charge, they've each had their individual carries, when I think about Guangzhou Charge, I think of a story of Sisyphus. And in my mind, it's Choi Se-won who's Sisyphus, and the boulder is Guangzhou Charge. He's just continually trying to push it up the hill, but it just continues rolling down. Like, he gets that one map when it feels like it's going to finally settle at the top, and then no. It just falls apart after that.
And Tartarus is just the entire region here, and I don't know.
All of APAC is Tartarus.
Hades is the other 6 teams that keep pushing the boulder back down, apparently. So
Hades, the guy, is Soul.
It's just Mr. Hades.
The Lord of Tartarus.
It is. Okay, game's back online now. This is real. This is actual real gameplay. We're actually starting the game now.
No whammies.
No more pausing. No more PP in the chat. You know what I said. I'm talking about pausing here. That's short form for pausing. Lip starting out on the Ashe. Already noted that his Ashe yesterday was fantastic. Develop going to be trying match on the other side. So exchanging some shots across the board.
Okay. Lips aiming today. Good to know. Starting off strong. No need for a warm-up here. Neither team really wants to put a toe on the point, knowing how vulnerable they would be. Lijiang here, picking up the Baptiste, of course, definitely a hero that's deep within his pool, and this provides access to the Immortality Field, which has already been used. Krong might even try and hold this out for the cap here, but Fate in the back is taken down far away. A big lack of damage now without that Discord orb, but there's still plenty of healing to go round. Izzyaki and Fleta win out their respective 1 versus 1s, and Shanghai Dragons, from their reserved position, will claim the first cap.
You see that very clutch Immortality Field from Lijiang coming through as well. We talked about the Lijiang in Garda, but how about this? He's got the BAP rolling out today as well. Actually saves Lip's life. He was on 1 HP, giving Shanghai Dragons an opportunity to, make sure they recover, get the rest of the kills in the Guangzhou Charge, and get that first cap underway as well. So, bit of a BAP Zen lineup to start things out with. I think most teams would probably prefer to play something more along the lines of a Brig, but here, Lijiang's going to play something else.
Krong, for now, weighing up the options. Develop, getting an opening pick onto Lip. That's huge. Huge amount of long-range damage now gone. Going to be supplemented by the double damage through the amplification matrix. Izzyaki and Lijiang both through that are going to be incredibly deadly to deal with. And while the poke from Guangzhou is strong, they are yet to really claim the point. Choi Se-won's going to be the one to tap their toes onto there. And Fate slept, discorded and executed. No pulse bomb required. as Choi Say One. Maybe not the best timing on Banana,
Push
but
that
still
boulder.
moves in
Push
to
it.
try and find the timing onto the Zen. Push the boulder! Go on, Sisyphus! You can do it!
He's got the nano, so that definitely helps you get your strength up. 50% extra pushing power, I'd say, on that. But will it be enough? 3 players down for the Guangzhou charge. The only choice if want to develop alive at this stage. They will be able to get some decent trades, but not enough to actually capture the point and convert it further into anything meaningful. And indeed, they're probably just going to get staggered here.
Ooh, forcing out the pulse bomb there might be a small dub, but that's okay. Fate being staggered on the trans. Okay.
Well, I mean, they're in the fight. Choi still getting kills here. I don't really hate the trance here. It doesn't save Krong. Maybe I hate it a little bit more with Choice of One dying here as well. That's probably the one play that you want to keep alive, also than anybody else. Doesn't take long for the Shanghai Dragons to get to recover, flip back into action. Couple of frags there. Trance was pretty optimistic, kept them in the fight for some time, but instantly when the trance is gone, the fight is over. Dragons win that.
You know what? I love an optimist, Avril. I rescind my mockery of the Transcendence. Krong now has themselves the Meteor Strikes. They can go in a little bit deeper and be able to get themselves out of dodge for free should the danger start to array a little bit too heavily. Develop creeping here. Throws out a cursory shot towards Iziaki, so announces his presence as Fletter remains untouched in the back lines for a moment. Goes in through the windows and now still has the duplicate to play with.
Can't go in because both DPSs dropped down to 1 HP. That Choi was literally on 1 HP. But as they recover HP, Develop will get the kill to Iziaki. So this is the 5v4 that Guangzhou Charge can actually use. It is final fight territory Shanghai on the 99% mark currently. 2 ultimates to play through. It can actually hold on to here. In fact, this fight has gone on long enough. Iziaki is back in. Flip will come through for the Charge and Dragons. Seemed like they didn't want to really contest, but they do want to fight here because Fletter has gone for the dupe.
The duplicate onto Viana. Nano Boost ready to go. Will you put it onto Fate? Maybe. No, the Nano Boost won't even be given over. Stuck as you come out. That's an amazing little bit of boulder pushing there from our Sisyphus Choice. Say one. Krong finds lip elsewhere, and Fate desperately clings to life via the grasp of the pile driver. Still, Guangzhou Charge will take his life nevertheless. And Farway here. I thought that maybe he'd have someone run into one of the mines to get a little bit more charge.
It's funny because Fate is playing a ball. So if you use your imagination really hard, it's kind of pushing a boulder. If the interaction with Fate, I don't know. You have to really, if you're a creative mind, you know what I'm saying. If you can't imagine it, I feel bad for you. Here we go, Guangzhou Charge, 70%. Can we at least reach the 99? I think we can. And a boost onto Krong to get him in. Develop under a bit of pressure. So is Lit. Both players alive currently. And Shanghai Dragons will back up. Pretty smart. They're just gonna choose not to play in the Nano, which is okay.
You know what? Let's not. They decide. Iziaki. Rally alongside him. Plenty of health to play with, of course. The Discord and the Transcendence as well. Critical to keep in this fight.
Okay.
Fate's taken out by Farway. What a play from the Zenyatta. Fate can slam down.
Wait, what?
Goodbye, Fate. Goodbye. Krong punches him off, and now in overtime, there's no tank for Shanghai Dragons. They can't get away from the pulse bomb either. Choi Say One says no. Lip, somehow his bulb is slept off of the map. Okay, and Guangzhou Charge in an array of confusion. When the chaos is at its best,
Man.
Shanghai Dragons, they fly into the wall.
Well, like I said, this was their best map yesterday. Charge beat Fusion here, looked pretty decent on it. So high hopes for the Charge to be at least able to take this map off of Shanghai Dragons. One map, one to Charge, has to at least get that one in there. It would be devastating if they go 0-3 versus Dragons when this team loves a good sprint, Like a cheetah in the wild, they're not going to go onto a long chase, so you can't catch the Gazelle within the first, I don't know how long they can sprint for, but whatever time you think I just said, then it's not going to happen. So Charge, first sprint pretty good. We're going to get to the finish line of Lijiang.
The zoologist's caster.
Yeah.
Very accurate, very deadly, just like Fate, far way down already. Pace is the name of the game with the Moira, and of course with the Lucio as well, the Seismic Slam. Breaks the ankles of multiple members, and so too will the Guangzhou Charge be broken of the knee of Shanghai.
Which question one will at least take away 2 along the side, so that's going to be the tax applied to the Dragons per fight. Choi will get his due. Sadly for him, though, the DPS support, well, the DPS passive is not going to come to effect because we're not on that patch. He loses that 30% charge that he had on the Genji. Will have to rely on just play fresh onto the Tracer, it seems. So Guangzhou Charge, First fight, not too great. Wasn't good on Night Market either. So not going to give up on the charge just yet for Control Synth. Let's see if they can continue.
It's the same opening again from the second fight. I'm getting a weird sense of deja vu as Develop and Choice One decide that the second fight is really where they're going to activate their Amy's. Just had to figure out, dial in the DPI. And that's where Develop starts to get these opening picks. The same thing happened last time. Develop picking off Lip after they got a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too confident after a dominant first fight on Lijiang Tower.
And I'll tell you what as well, Dragons are kind of playing a bit of the Dallas Fuel special, the Lucio Moira, and hasn't really been my favorite comp so far. Not a big fan of Lucio Moira generally in 5v5. Wasn't actually a big fan of it in 6v6 either, to be fair. Fate's also on a Doomfist when he's mainly been playing only Ball of Winston so far mid-season. So one of our few times actually seeing what Fate can do on this particular hero when Void has been playing a lot of this year. Shanghai Dragons in either case. Okay, well they have ultimates available. Or about to be available.
Krong caught in the corner for now. Fate trying to mark him in there. Develop once again with an opening frag. What a showcase this has been for the fledgling hit-scan talent against his former comrades and teammates. I know all your tricks. I've been in Moon's secret book of strats, and I have found the answers.
The saddest thing about Lip right now is I think he would actually prefer to play the Ashe up against Develop, but he can't change because he's on 82% towards the overclock and doesn't want to give up on the ultimate. And Shanghai Dragons, I mean, they definitely have the ultimates now, but Charge haven't had to spend anything because Develop keeps finding these kills. He's doing so much work on this Ashe.
Fate has to get out of there as soon as possible. Pulsar will catch nothing. A coalescence racks through the nerves of multiple members. And while there is a nano given over, it's not going to last for long. Izayaki, the skill hero, the Moira, the big beam Kamehameha, comes up trumps.
Shanghai Dragons will finally start catching up with percentage points here as well. Lip will finally get that overclock. It'll be his first overclock of this map so far, which is a little sad to say, but he has been targeted quite heavily. Can Guangzhou Charge get another opening pick from Develop will be the biggest question now as well. Transcendence available for Faraway. Lijiang holding onto Sound Barrier. Very slow approach here from the Guangzhou Charge, and it will be the opposite. We're talking about Develop killing Lip. This time Lip kills Develop.
Healing Orb sent forth. Lip getting plenty of frags here. Fate continues to chase. Oh, nice interrupt there on the charge punch. And that means that Krong can't get to safety. Choice One dips from the office. And that's going to be Shanghai Dragons once again holding.
Is he going for his lunch break? He's dipping from the office. Where's he gone?
He's gone to compare some business
Running
cards.
Personal errands. You can't do that on company time. So Shanghai Dragons, Moon sees all. This will be the fight where we finally get to see a couple more ultimates. Here we go. Overclock coming through from Lip. Does it in now. He has to get perfect headshots because of the Transcendence. Very low HP. No sound barrier just yet. Here it comes finally. Lip can get the permission to walk on forward. Now low on the kills so far. But as I say that, on the 95th percent for the Shanghai Dragons. Every frag they need comes on through. Choice One doesn't even get to use the Pulse Bomb in hand. We're going to go to a third and final sub-map decided here on Lijiang Tower Gardens.
I love it when Izayaki is playing the Moira hero and says his signature phrase when getting a kill, it's Orbin time. Really big plays from Shanghai Dragons as we head over to our third and final map of Control. Here it is, it's the Gardens, and sometimes you can see something a little bit more aerial here. Flutter might decide to opt in to the Echo, but
Jeez, that's a good
well,
flick.
for Shanghai Dragons, they might decide to just stick with this.
And it's been so many times you've just seen the replays here that Develop can just find these flicks onto the Lip. And that was happening for the majority of this map as well, this round. But when push comes to shove in Dragons, that one fight with Lip actually got the opening 2 kills, one of which was on Develop. Pretty huge stuff. Okay, let's talk about this. Shanghai Dragons, gotta be playing a little bit of the Hardy. A little bit of the London Spitfire cosplay. Fate on the Rhine. It's actually not that much of cosplay. We have seen the Rhine before. Krong got caught by the wall very briefly. But coming through on the Cassie, it is, I mean, just a full brawl composition. May and all.
It's what, 4 AM in the US right now? Mag has just woken up with a start. Someone's playing Rhine on Lijiang Gardens again. Fletter and Lip lie in wait, and we haven't seen a huge amount of Cassidy. Mostly MN3 in APAC, who's been playing a little bit more of this. Easy Hun, his first appearance as well on New Queen Street for the Valiant.
You would actually normally see Sparker play the Sojin here as well, so that's already one departure that we are kind of witnessing. But Guangzhou Charge, I mean, they're not interested in trying to match it, obviously. Okay, so they're going to be playing over towards something like a Pharah instead. Was an Echo. I think Genji could be reasonable. I really wonder what else Develop can go here to kind of have a better chance against this Ryan. Trace is actually okay, so I don't mind this composition overall. Krong is going to struggle though. And with all these frags, a couple more changes, Develop comes back on a Widow.
Okay, the Widowmaker here, just try and work the Angs maybe. Make sure that Shanghai Dragons have to try and split their attention. Fate, of course, with a mono-directional shield. Cannot cover every single angle by themselves, and Choice A1 is trying to get some attention skywards. Remember, there's no pocket here for Choice A1, so the
just
peppering from Izayaki and Lip is going to be a little bit difficult to deal with. The Harmony Orb is going to have to be enough healing, and that means Choice A1 has to make the most of damage drop-off.
Part of me wishes he was actually on the Ashe, because if he wants to play on angles, I mean, he can do that on the Ashe as well. Dynamite does a ton of damage. I suppose if you just want to actually land final blows, you need the headshots on, I suppose, like a Widowmaker, but the angles have to be earned, and I don't know how Developer's going to find those angles when currently he's even getting taken down by Lip. Lip has just killed 2 of the DPS's. Choi now goes towards the Genji. Genji's a good choice versus the Rhine, but Charge seems stumped. I don't think Charge know what to do here because they're unable to find any sort of engages that make sense for them. And the longer this goes, like day, the more that the Dragons just get ultimates. Flit is nearly on towards a Blizzard as well, and we're about to hit the 99% mark where the Dragons can dump all their ultimates and just win.
Lip do be aiming today. There's the amplification matrix, double damage through it if anyone dares to show their face. Elsewhere, Fletter simply playing the doorman against both these DPS, and Lip's wrapping around the back. Remember, Choice A1 could be instantly blown apart by that sticky nade. Does a huge amount of damage, over 130. Finally, Developers purchased an angle.
No,
needs to make use of it, but the misses is not what you need. A freebie is left. A stun, yes, gets rid of the Deadeye and sends Izayaki off the map. Can Krong do enough here to finish this? Lip so low and won't reach the Mega. Krong's gonna have to try and risk it for the biscuit. He's got the extra 250 HP, but now Fate's up on top of him and a Fire Strike burns through his foe. Shanghai Dragons lose control, but for how long? As Fate has brought himself onto this area, he's got a slam. Oh, there it is. It's dodged with the trance, and now that means he can continue to contest. Farway's on a mad one.
Okay, look at this now. It's just 2 players online for the Shanghai Dragons. The rest of the respawners attempting to come back in. Fate just wakes up and pins Develop. Okay, that happened in this game.
Ow.
Shanghai Dragons, they gotta use this Blizzard. They have a sound barrier as well, both of which will be able to get them this W. Blizzard is now on the point. Watch that cap. It should be flipping over. Choice A1 down is not good news for the Guangzhou Charge. Can they contest at all? Sound barrier to lock up the rest of the 5 in terms of HP bars, and the Guangzhou Charge can do nothing but watch, and unfortunately, I think this is going to be it. Doesn't look like there's too much left here. Leg day, 3 members alive, but Shanghai Dragons, 5 up, full control, window out. It's going to be the cap. It's going to be the finish. It's going to be the 1-0.
Dude, the wall in the window as well to stop Choice A1 from dashing through and getting the contest. Mega brains from Fletter, but honestly, I can't believe that Fate was surrounded by Guangzhou Charge players, wakes up in the middle of that point, and then somehow gets the charge on Develop. Unbelievable fumbles, or maybe didn't expect the power steering.
I tell you what happens. I mean, this is the kind of game where, you know, Shanghai keep hearing the smack talk from NA Andes about like, oh, but APAC doesn't know how to play Ryan or how to counter Ryan, and Fate's just like, my reaction to that information. So, that's going to be map 1 done and dusted here. Shanghai Dragons will deny Guangzhou Charge of, I think, what could have been their best map. So, can Charge still get a map in this series? We'll have to find out after this breaks, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Overwatch League here. Final match of the day for our final week of the Midseason Madness qualifiers. And Shanghai Dragons, I think expectedly do take a 1-0 lead here. I mean, I think at this stage, we've already had 2 back-to-back 0-3s, 3-0s rather. You know, why not make it 3 back-to-back leg day? Part of me still hopes that Charge can prove us wrong. And, you know, I called them one map wonder team yesterday, which means they got to deliver me that one map.
I mean, their one map wonder yesterday against Philly Fusion was a 2-0 win on Lijiang Tower. So already one of their wonder maps has been flushed down the toilet. But getting kids, we're going back to Tartarus. Let's have a quick look at our map set to see where we'll be jet setting off to with the Dragons and the Charge. Of course, it's going to be hybrid next, and I think we're going to be doing another deja vu as we return to our previous hybrid map of Eichenwalde.
Yeah, we're just playing a couple of the same maps here. So good. We'll see how these two teams match up as... I mean, at this stage, I don't think we expect any substitutions on either side, so, you know, I don't even... We're not going to see any subs today, I don't think, because Fate and Lijiang gone are now kind of just mainstays where, again, the Bebe Void experiment wasn't very good for them. Charge as well haven't played Rio, I think, for the entire stage. And, you know, you could question and be like, well, is it worth bringing in Rio for the Winston like Spark brought in Goose Ray for the Winston or like a Dorado? Possibly. But I also don't fault the Charge for doing something similar to, for example, what Sefi, the head coach of Atlanta Reign, said today, which is to say that basically we want to focus all our attention onto one tank. It's not that useful to try and develop 2 plays, especially when there's no ranked for another player to grind, so it's a better use of time just to give one player all the attention. So Atlanta are putting all their stocks into Hawk, Charge doing it into Krong, Shanghai doing it all into Fate.
And in the case of Seoul, they've only got 1 tank to focus.
Yeah, oh, that's 9 hits. See, they started ahead of the curve.
Yeah. Toby brain. Reminds him of Miro. Like, yeah, we only need 1 tank.
Speaking of Miro, he does coach the Spark now, so good old Miro is still hanging about for those that wonder what some of the old school guys are up to now. Some Dragons take a bit of time just to think through the different compositions. Fate on towards the Zarya, one of Void's specialties, so we'll see if Fate can deliver today on this hero.
Remember what we talked about before, the playstyle of Zarya changed significantly from a kickoff clash to the mid-season man, so you're definitely more of a self-preserving frontline now rather than playing a faux main tank of a Reaper. Gives you a lot more charge to work with, and that's going to be an engagement here from Krong, already taking so much damage for Shanghai Dragons, overwhelming a wide mega punch coming through from the Doomfist, but Lip, with his little micro flick, simply sends everyone to the Shadow Realm. The graveyard is full, and Monster Reborn won't solve this one.
There's only 1 player left on the field as well. Choice of World is the only player that didn't go down for the Guangzhou Charge. Beyond that, the Shanghai Dragons collected the gamut of kills, including Lip getting 2 opening frag and a closing frag to start and finish their Fate. Now that we've moved past A, is going to go towards the ball. So super interesting by the Shanghai Dragons that 2 members here just, you know, swap off their initial heroes. Zarya, they only were interested in playing A on. To be fair, I do agree that the ball is much better for B. Ideally, they're not stuck on the Zarya for too long. Zarya will be good again on C, but B is a very contentious point, right? And Fate didn't have that much ult charge, so he's not giving up that much.
I think Krong got knocked off by Fate. This is something that is going to have to be a consistent worry for Guangzhou Charge. If Krong reveals himself and Fate can wrap around from behind and get that knockover. You can see that Krong's already falling pretty low, but some easy attention gain from Viana means that Shanghai Dragons are going to have to back off for all of them.
So one interesting thing is Develop is actually playing the ground. He's not actually on the high ground. I was going to say as well that Dragons, we saw that Fleta was kind of challenging that initial tower. Didn't see anybody up there. That was a little bit strange, but identified Develop. That's their primary target, and because he's on the low ground, they're just going to run at him. Pulse Bomb will find him almost instantly, and with your main damage dealer out of the picture, Shanghai Dragons should be in easy mode. Unless.
Well, now the damage has been equaled out. Krong managed to find Lip in an isolated position. It seems like Shanghai are actually having a little bit of trouble with timing right now when it comes to these dives. Finally, Fate and Fleta move together, but far away with the Discord Orb can simply tear through the Wrecking Ball. No headshots required. It's only bodies when he's in that ball form. And the bodies are certainly going to start hitting the floor here as Develop has returned. This is a perfect place for a stick, but Choice A1 holds on to his boulder for now.
Even.
So there is going to be an exchange.
I mean, Lip's turned this around a little bit here. They don't have supports, which is a bit of a problem, but in terms of numbers, it was a 3 versus 3. Speaking of supports, Lijiang, well, not that Lijiang, Izayaki seems to have returned now, so a little bit of harmony healing coming through. Bob's online for Lip as well, so the Shanghai Dragons have the required members. Their respawn distance is slightly closer than the Guangzhou Charge, and it looked like Charge were going to clean up Shanghai Dragons, but because Lip gets a couple of frags, we've evened up, and now Shanghai Dragons are ahead. Barely.
Oh, develop first frags again. Far away Nano, after already getting that one, continues to send out the charge shots, and maybe not the ideal Nano there from Unique, and this entire time Fate's been pushing the car.
So I said Shanghai Dragons were ahead. That was a lie. Forget I said that. They were not ahead there. Apparently, they got one kill from Lip, and then Farway's like, it's time to carry. I don't know if you watched the latest...
Here we go again.
Well, Fate's going to try and go for the back cap. I don't know if you watched the latest what is it? The comms check? But at the end, there was a bit of Guangzhou Charge, and Farway said to his team, guys, just give me, care me, and I carry, in his literal words. It's like, okay, so they gave him the Nano here. He got a couple frags. He is the opening frag again. Guangzhou Charge have cared Farway, and now he's carrying.
You gotta care him and he'll care you right back. The strongest of cares from Bertrand. In fact, 300 HPS for everyone. Allows them to survive the onslaught of the Shanghai Dragons, but for us, it's all about this Tracer duel. Choice here 1, marking Fletter, as elsewhere Krong lifts everyone up into the air and slams them back down again. The fundamental forces of the Guangzhou...
Goodbye,
Fate. Goodbye. Gravity too strong.
Just ask Sisyphus with the boulder, and just keep sliding back down. Gravity. It's all gravity,
yes,
baby.
Gravity. It's the worst.
Good movie, though. Guangzhou Charge, here we go.
Weaker in the underworld because there's less below you?
Honestly, I don't know how it all works. I don't know how the geometry works. For all I know, they're on a different planet. Here comes the support ultimates for the Shanghai Dragons, though. Double supports overlaid a little bit here, but they are on the precipice of capping. Lips on point. Doesn't look like anyone can actually touch. Krong has been booped backwards by Lijiang, just shoving his shield in front of his face. Using that shield bash him. The cap's there.
The synchronized swimming of headshots there onto Unique from Izayaki and Lip. And Guangzhou Charge, I think that Shanghai currently have hostages, I think is the case. And they have executed them. The ransom was not paid, Develop was killed, and there goes the last one, far away. Lurking in the back, and this means a bit of free cart push for the Shanghai Dragons, as Guangzhou are in disarray, it feels like.
And they're going to go towards the Doom here as well, so... Looking for potentially a final contest here, Nano available, that will give you a pretty decent Nano target. Can you get the damage in after Krong goes in? Where's the follow-up now? You need to see Choice F1 in the mix as well. Fate's low.
Indeed he is. Lijiang as well. That shield doesn't last for long.
They're just not dying.
Do a good amount of damage as well. Lijiang gets Overwatch there. How does he live? There's the stick as well. Fletcher's decided, you know what? You guys can have your fun in the back. I'm going to be up the front with Lip, and we're just going to win this fight. Is that okay?
Can't
you
believe
guys don't mind if we do.
Can't believe it. 3 players on 1 HP. 3 players. Fate, Izayaki, Lijiang all at 1 HP. And Flitter and Lip are just like, well, we're healthy, we're not being targeted, let's get some kills in there. Guangzhou Charge, they Nano, they're Krong in. Choice they want is somewhere in there as well. They're trying to chase down all these low players. Again, 3 of them were on 1 HP and just didn't die. Did not die.
Yeah. I think we can all agree, Avril, that that happened. Let's move on. Guangzhou Charge.
Sure.
Now have to complete the map, and they have to complete the map with time. If they do so with no time in the bank, Shanghai Dragons will be able to get a free attack for the first third, but honestly, easier said than done when it comes to completing against Shanghai.
I was supposed to lock in my food order by now, but I've actually forgotten, so we're not going to do that.
Oh man.
Here we go. No one knows what I'm talking about, just a little bit of a break banter.
just an in-joke?
Some in-jokes, you know. You weren't there, you wouldn't understand. Shanghai Dragons.
You wouldn't get it.
Shanghai Dragons, though, 148. So reasonable defense, I'd say, for Guangzhou Charge to at least slow things down enough. A was a bit of a wash, sadly. B had a few contentious moments. Definitely a bit of a mistake from Charge to, I guess, have... Oh, they value the high ground very heavily, but when you can play the objective properly, coming through from the Shanghai Dragon side of things, you're able to push the payload well beyond, I think, the bridge even. Charge at that point have to kind of relocate their entire defense to actually match that positioning. Otherwise, you see what happened. They were forced to C9 the payload because, well, the only person that could touch was Krong, and he got booped away by Lijiang. But focusing on the attack now, Krong remains on the Doomfist. was definitely feeling himself on that. The Sigma was, you know, it is his signature, but I think too slow for the charge to get too much work done.
Yeah, Shanghai Dragons are all about pace, speed, power, violence. Fate already antied here, so his pace is going to be significantly reduced. But still, Lip winning that long-range hit scan duel is going to make sure that Fate feels a little bit safer, more snuggly, like a Buggly in his little blankets.
Unique on low HP.
Goodbye.
Seems to be able to survive here. Far away, potentially in trouble. I mean, Fate's gone fairly deep. He won't overcommit. He's definitely going to be smarter than that as Shanghai Dragons keeping the charge busy for now and making sure they're not getting any ult charge. Speaking of which, developers definitely far behind at this stage with Lip having opened up the frag onto him earlier and charge not able to get any sort of distance to develop the space to work with.
Oh, control of the computer shop here, going to be hotly contested, but you know that any moment now those anti-nades might come sailing on in, and those going to need to be avoided. Krong with all of his cooldowns, waiting for a moment to try and make things work. Fate actually avoids the incoming nade from Unique, so now this could be a power position for Shanghai Dragons, and indeed it is. Lib makes sure of that. From long range can snipe away, and Fate is doing the bulk of the work with the Tesla coil. Overloads the circuits of Farway.
Oh,
what Isioke, I believe, was actually just punched off the map. A big environmental kill and a follow-up from Eichenwalde. The boulder indeed is starting to get pushed as Eichenwalde has to go back and seek out heals. Mind you, Shanghai Dragons here, they're going to take a while to respawn.
Yeah, this is an advantage to Guangzhou charge for sure, because Shanghai Dragons are waiting for players to come back in. Iziaki can only do so much as an Ana to return, so opportunity for Dragons, or rather for Charge to take some control. I don't even think they're aware that Dragons have basically vacated the point. They seem to be a little bit confused there, but finally on the actual point itself, but now being contested.
Big crunch here, 2 versus 1. Surely Lip dies, and indeed he does. Iziaki tries to turn it around with a nano onto Fletter. Big Alpha Yi impression to be done here. Both of the supports will fall. Damage done now to Guangzhou Charge is going to be permanent, and Krong can't even escape with a Meteor Strike. Does not deem it a worthy investment. Shanghai Dragons re-enter, and despite the advantage Guangzhou had, not even a tick, Avril.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. I think Dragons did, well, they played to the perfect percentages there, which is to say that, okay, if they gave away just enough space, and that's going to force out a nano as well. Well, I mean, it's an ultimate for an ultimate, and actually, you know what? Fletter can charge this one a lot faster. Unique has to use a nano to save a place. You can't use it on Krong to engage, which is going to make this engage a lot more difficult.
Alright, big crunch miss on the pulse on Farway and Unique. Both anti-Iziaki hits that from far away. And this gives us time to talk about why that nano was bad. Because Guangzhou Charge were not in a position to really make anything happen off the back of that nano. They'd have to go so far forward, and Farway's a slow boy. None of Guangzhou Charge could really do anything, and Shanghai could simply disengage.
I see it both ways in that, well, Shanghai weren't trying to engage, they were just trying to look for a pick, and forcing an ultimate just kind of puts Charge behind in terms of they would rather use that to actually engage with Krong, put Nano on Krong right. Currently, they're just kind of being spawn camped, and this is sad because, you know, Nano would have helped them out here. I don't really hate them for using Nano to Farway, because if they lose Farway, they could just get cleaned up, staggered, and lose a lot of time. So both ways you cut it, it doesn't look good for Charge. You just have to say the only positive there was the fact that Fletter outplayed them, but with Fletter down, can Charge make use of the 5v4?
Krong, Meteor Strike as well, can go all the way in, touch that cart. Someone needs to be able to grab this objective. Surely not again. Yes, it's Eichenwalde, who makes sure overtime is going to be done. Fate with a nano boost, plenty of damage, is going to have loads of targets arrayed in front of him. Farway's the one that shows himself first. Discord Orb given over 1000 HP is going to last a little bit longer without that in play. Shanghai Dragons hold back the Guangzhou Charge, and man, Athena, this is so sad. Play the Midtown theme.
Trying to remember what it is. It is a bit of a banger. It is a bit of a bop.
It is a banger.
Maybe that's what Farway was listening to when we were watching a little bit earlier on. Maybe that's what they need. It's Hybrid next. No, it's not. It's Escort next. You can't play Midtown. I think it's Circuit Royale. Circuit Royale has a bit of a bop as well for the soundtrack. You can see Moon in the background here, giving a couple of high fives. We see you, buddy. And that's going to be the game. 2-0 now. Somewhat expected. Dragons are on a massive tear. Fate's just earth-shattered his camera. And we'll see you on the other side of this break. Welcome back, APAC fam, to Overwatch League once again. Could be our third and final map here. Who knows, Charge? I'm still waiting for that one map that you owe everybody. Alright, you always take one map off of everybody, so you still got an opportunity to do that here as we move over to map number 3, final opportunity. Not the best Eichenwalde that we've seen, considering it scoreline there you can see is a 3-0. Lijiang Tower much more competitive. Wish we got a little bit more signs of life there from the Charge on Eichenwalde, but Dragons seem to be too good today.
Yeah, Dragon's doing a really good job, especially on the Eichenwalde defense, of being able to control the engagements with Fleta and Fate, and never was it more apparent from when we saw that nano force from the stick onto Farway, removing a huge component that would have been necessary to really break through the lines of Shanghai Dragons, because when you're on a defensive side, you can just trade poke and not have to worry too much, because still, the Guangzhou Charge have to move forward into your territory and brave the damage that's going to be coming out from all angles as you get surrounded, and that's why you need to invest more resources, like the nano boost. And when that's used just to keep you surviving, when you could really just lose Farway and back out and wait, because you're so close to your own spawn, and I heavily disagree with that decision. It's going to be sticking in my mind.
I think they were probably done for no matter what. That's the
possibly.
Is that a silver lining? I don't know if that's a silver lining or not. I think it's one of those cases where both options are not particularly great, but you know, I think you're probably are correct. So I'll give that to you. How about this though? Let's talk about what we just had on screen. I said earlier that we weren't going to see substitutions today, and Moon's like, we're winning, and it is Guangzhou Charge.
We are winning for now.
You know how I said that Charge usually get a map? Well, no, I'm joking. Okay, Void and Bebe are in, but I'm not going to disrespect them like that. Come on, guys. Good to see
this tracks, right? This tracks for the
one Charge
map that we're on.
It actually does. Okay, so here's why we're seeing this. We're going into Circuit Royale. It is a heavy Sigma map. And Sigma is a difficult hero for main tank players to pick up, unless your name is Smurf and you're just a god-tier player. But for everyone else, for the mere mortals out there that exist, Sigma is very specialized, so we're not expecting guys like Fake to pick it up. Krong is obviously ready and raring to go to play the Sigma. Bringing in Void makes sense. Could you have kept Lijiang on him? Probably, but I think it's fair that, you know, let's just see if the Bebe Void combo can work again. Let's just see if Bebe can work, given that you are going to play double flex support here. Why not? You're 2-0 up. You're one of the best teams. Charge are heavily struggling. I think it's reasonable by Moon to kind of put him in here. I think this is okay.
I think it's a very reasonable choice. Like you said, the Sigma's such a specialized skill set compared to a lot of the other tanks, where it isn't as much about like the spacing and engagements as it is you like pick one spot that's really good and you just do everything in your power to stay there and force the enemy to use resources to move you from that zone. That usually you need a specialized player who can deal with the projectiles as well. They're a very, like Lucia, they've got a very specific projectile on Sigma, which requires a little bit of intense skill to use. Shanghai Dragons on the attack
song,
first
by the way.
here.
Have you heard that?
Oh.
It's a theme song.
This is not what I asked.
I don't know if Dragons have a theme song. I know Spark do. I know Guangzhou do. I know Hunters, by the way, I don't know if people know this. They have their own theme song as well. Look it up.
Spark's one's really good.
It is pretty decent. It's pretty decent. Soul definitely have a theme song as well. I don't know about Dragons though. Maybe they do. I haven't done my research in that regard. Someone will tell me, I'm sure.
No bop research?
The Shanghai Dragons social media manager follows me. They can send it to me later. We'll pick that one up. So double sniper here, Flitter and Lip. Talked about the two Sigmas that is on board. Izuyaki Bebe playing the Zen Bap matched on the other side as well. So pretty even. The only difference is going to be the Hanzo versus the Sojin. I quite like the Sojin here because it's easy to charge Railgun off of Sigma's shield. But if you just want to break the shield, Hanzo is better for that.
Yeah, and it also means that it's a little bit of a disadvantage to Lip in the sniper duel because both of these snipers can actually instantly put out damage towards Lip.
Sonic arrow
whereas Fletter's going to have to reveal their... Yeah, the Sonic arrow is going to be huge. However, Fletter is huger. Choice here, one and far away. Instantly broken, even more. Oh, Fletter, you are meta.
Yep, there it is. He said it, guys. He said the word. Say the word, Bart.
He said the line.
He said the line. He said the Fletter meta line. It's, yeah. Anyway,
I've been casting Overwatch for 5 years, Avril. I've been waiting to say that one.
It's like when you cast Toronto. It's like, is he gonna say the Heast meme? Is he gonna do it? Go, oh, he said the Heast meme. Okay, Fleta continues to get kills. What I really am impressed by is the fact that Fleta is. I mean, this is not normally one of his heroes. We did actually talk about this at some point. The last time we saw Fleta play Sojourn was actually on this map, Circuit Royale. And a bit of lore as well. I said this last time, but I'll save it for the ones that missed it. Shanghai had an internal Sojourn 1v1 tournament that Fleta won. So he's by no means a slouch on this particular hero. So good to see the flexibility here. In terms of Fleta being the meta, he certainly is, if he's also picking up Sojourn.
Check it out, Shimada swap choice one on the Genji now. Farway once again, the first one to fall. Too many audacious peaks are rewarded with too many audacious shots. Lip goes high, lays develop low, and yes, there is healing there, but this does mean a couple less peaks, and everyone's just being put into the garage right now. Oh no.
Which means the team is split up. I mean, 2 players are in the garage, 2 players are coming through from a spawn, and they're getting crunched. The cap is there as well. Charge, plenty of ultimates, can't use them. Shanghai Dragons, they hold on to all of theirs because they also don't need to use them. Lip with some clean frags and an infra site that gives them all the information. It's like, okay, well, we know their team's entirely split here. Let's just shove this payload in, shall we?
Farway survives by the skin of his buffed health. 225 HP, a little bit better to survive those body shots. And Lip is just going to continue providing this suppressive fire as Guangzhou Charge will move up to their last bastion, the poolside retreat.
5 minutes as well. It's a monstrous time bank, especially considering that Dragons have yet to slow down. Both A and B were completely clean. I mean, have they even really died so far? Let me take a look. No. Fun fact, there's only been 1 kill. Krong has the only kill from the Guangzhou Charge so far.
Well, that's worrying. Krong in a prime position to get knocked off here, but I think should be fine. Nice position here for the slam. Does the damage, but the immortality feels just too great. Avril, Unique, runs on into his own. And now, once again, Shanghai Dragons is just going to be able to pressure the car and lackadaisically roll it in. This is a Sunday drive.
This will be a record, indeed. I mean, unless Charge want to fight here, this will be the most monstrous time bank on Circuit Royale. Because it's fresh as well, we don't have Overwatch 1 stats here. This could be the fastest Circuit Royale if they push very soon here. So here comes the ultimate exchange window. So far not responded to by the Charge. See if they get any frags there. There comes their window as well.
Lip laying down suppressive fire. It's Fleta who opens though on to develop. There's the force of the trance. It's a touch late, but that's fine. Moving in from a back, Choice A1 with the blade already so low. 61 HP up against the trance. That's forced out, and Fleta's fallen down. Alas, the Zendul goes the way of Izayaki, and Lip now with the sight is instantly accosted by the Genji. The peel is good as the master puts down the student. You never got your diploma, mate, and you're not going to get one here. It's a degree in Kachow for Shanghai Dragons as the cars race to the finish.
5:33. As I work it backwards from 8 minutes is the amount of time for Shanghai Dragons to finish the map. A 3:27 time bank. Is that the fastest cap on Circuit Royale so far this season in all of Overwatch 2? I don't know. I would love to know. Someone can tell me. I haven't seen every single Circuit Royale. What do you think? Is this the fastest one? Have you seen it? Have you personally seen
like it's the fastest one?
Because we don't see that many finishes. We don't see Circuit Royale finishes typically, right? So of them, I feel like we haven't had a fast one. Unless we have and I just don't know about it. I don't watch enough NA games to know, so someone has to tell me.
I've watched quite a few NA games and I can't remember one being quite this dominant. Like the fact that there was only 1 kill in the first...
There's 2 now.
Points, and
they've doubled. There's 2 now.
100% more frags for the next leading Guangzhou Charge. Now that's a bargain, mate. Guangzhou Charge, they only got 1 fight's worth of actual battles out of each of those zones as well, which is not fantastic, Avril.
No, not really. Blip, by the way, has mined up the little binoculars there, so no one else can enjoy the views. Just him.
Some tourist is going to get fragged by the venom farts.
So, with our powers combined, I have seen every APAC game. You've seen far more NA than I have. We're just going to declare this as the fastest Circuit Royale ever. So,
I think that's safe to do.
And by the way, not even Mayhem cheating could get a time this good. You know, let's put that one out there.
No illegal maneuvers required. All of those murders were completely legal, Your Honor.
Shanghai Dragons certainly have a license to kill. Let's see if they can maintain that on the defensive side. My hope for the Guangzhou Charge 1 map is dwindling by the second here. Truly, I think Lijiang was their best shot at it. It's now fallen away from them. That was in the past. And the present right now, just one staying on top of the Genji, so he wants to get active. This is not going to help them in the actual shield duel between Void and Krong, but it will help them clean up damage from Develop if he hits some shots. And certainly Charge, or at least walking forward runner, they're taking command of this positioning. That's good.
Yeah, great control of the space. I love that actually we saw Choice 1 open up with a deflect to get more damage onto Void, and then can move into Brawl Up afterwards. Void's already had to expend the Kinetic Grasp, which is one of the major cooldowns of the Sigma, of course. Lip goes high. Can they find anybody? It's only a body shot onto Krong, but still backing off with a Discord Orb upon him. And Shanghai Dragons, they flow like a tide and like a river, but unfortunately the dam is met, and the dam is, of course, Mr. Sisyphus, the boulder guy. Choice 1, who catches a boulder of his own right there. The accretion given by Void.
There's a couple of boulders being thrown around via the accretions. It's very relevant and thematic here. Let's see if this windows help either team. Certainly helping a lot for Choice 1 and Unique. Lip is trying to get some damage done, can't quite find it. Develop will take him down, and that is going to be the A cap. Guangzhou Charge are not out of options. They are not out of gas. They are going to make this as competitive as possible.
Develop. This is exactly where he wants to be. Bloody good Widowmaker. The mine is caught, so Void just going to get tap, 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 tap. Little bit of damage taken as Lip moves up towards that all-important infra site.
The problem here now is, can Charge snowball effectively? Because there is going to be Transcendence online as well as the Overclock. Charge will also still have about 4 ultimates nearly there. The infra sites can be traded for each other. No real support for Choice 1's Blade, so he's got to be very careful. He can be met with a lot in response, including Immortality Field. Zenyatta's pretty tanky, and like I mentioned, 9% away from the Transcendence, generally speaking. So Charge have their work cut out for them.
Lip, infra site good to go, likely waiting for Develop to pop his zone. Remember, Choice 1 here has the Blade. But Krong likely going to be moving first here to force out the Transcendence from Izayaki. Got to deal with all of these different cooldowns, and of course, so easy to track with the infra site. Develop actually hung on to this for quite a while, deciding to disengage instead. Look at this.
Wait a minute,
Fleta still wins that. There's no way. There is actually no way. Check him PC in his game using game deficit or something. Fleta backs off for now. The overclock giving him plenty of rail charge to work with, and Unique has found that out the hard way. It's a cancel on the Gravitic Flux due to a well-placed boulder, but unfortunately, while you can cancel the Flux, you can't cancel Fleta.
And another one. And another one. I'm just remembering you and Lemon Key were happy on this exact
flashbacks to the grand finals.
Trying to do that one again. I'm allowed to have my moments here. Fleta, though, what a moment from him. That was wild stuff. Lifted by the Flux. Still snipes Develop. Overclocks to victory. My goodness, it's crazy that Shanghai Dragons just have 2 fantastic Sojourn players in this team. And for the Charge, that could have, maybe even should have been everything, but like I sort of mentioned there, hard to play up against Dragons when they have that many ultimates. Can they make this work with a 5 versus 4? Bebe is gone for just a little bit. The Charge need to push up quickly. They get traded, so, well, that's no longer a 5v4 for them.
An exchange of a Baptiste as Void's actually put himself into a very aggressive position here, trying to deny so much from Krong, and what this also does is denies Choice 1 easy pathing, but now that Void's been forced out, Choice 1 gets a tap upon the card just to stop it from rolling backwards, keeping this in one-fight territory in terms of win-to-objective movement.
I'll tell you what as well, Bebe going down was the best opportunity to pull the Blade, because that's going to be the Immortality Field gone. The fact that they couldn't get that Blade off during that time with now Krong suiciding somehow must have taken a lot of damage, and they just hypersphered himself. Time is running out here. I mean, they're repeatedly getting picked out in situations where the Charge want to be able to push up, simply can't do so. They've now lost all the space. I mean, Dragons have pushed up far enough that they look like they're defending A again.
Yeah, Shanghai Dragons don't want to give any space away for free. Krong elevated into the air and then plunged down into the ground. Choice 1 drags out the Blade. Izayaki says, absolutely not, son. Don't you get that out in here? What do you think this is, an anime convention?
What you just saw was Izuyaki just kick that damn boulder all the way back down the hill. Unlucky, Sisyphus. Unlucky.
He's greased the boulder.
It's right back down to the bottom for Choi. And Guangzhou charge. Look, it's not going to be full hold on A, but B is... You know what's... You want to get even deeper on that theme? Circuit Royale is a very uphill sort of map. Look at this. You got to push.
It is.
That, see? The layers here. It's quite deep. It's very deep layers.
Sisyphus has given us some real distance today.
I think it has.
Unfortunately,
far
unable
more than
to do that with the rock.
But we got rocks, we got boulders on this map, we got a lot of uphill on this map, we got Choi being kicked down the hill. It all works. It all works.
A little bit less pushing power here with the Hanzo, but more damage at range. Fletter so close, and look who's trying to close the gap. Choice 1 dragged himself up onto there and popped for storm arrows, but unfortunately all the damage is being delivered by the Shanghai Dragons. Up into the air goes Krong, demanding the presence of those who would fight him. And yes, Lip does fall, but unfortunately Guangzhou Charge are simply out of players, and they are almost out of time and out of chances.
2 players remaining for Charge. Yeah, let's just say that this one is firmly done now. Krong will try and come back over towards the ball. Shanghai Dragons, though, they have it locked down. It's like they were defending A the entire time, despite the payload being on B. A 3-0 coming on through. Void and Bebe, congratulations to them. They finally got a map win in the Midseason Madness. People doubted. They said, there's no way you can play Void and Bebe. And sure enough, 0-6 start wasn't a good look for this team. But Moon believed. He brought them back. He said, come on. We got a bit of an opportunity here for Void and Bebe to get something done. And actually, I think this is Bebe's first map win of the entire season. Well done, especially for that achievement. Bebe's got one on the board now, which is great to see. But for Charge, unfortunately, 0-3. Didn't get that one map. Closest was Lijiang, and if it wasn't going to be Lijiang, then it's got to be nowhere.
One on the board for Bebe, but one of the most important things here for Shanghai Dragons, they're starting to show this long-term consistency in Mid-Season Madness. After that 0-6, we saw the metamorphosis. They went into their chrysalis, into the cocoon, and they came out on the other side with a better understanding of the game as it stands at the moment. And with this kind of consistency from Shanghai Dragons, that's what makes them a lot more threatening moving into the tournament arc, even if they don't come out with the second seed, because Hangzhou Spark are in a great position to steal that from them.
I got a question for you, Harry. What is Fletter again?
Fletter's meta, man.
Mark Zuckerberg agrees, and we're going to see Fletter as the player of the match here. He is indeed the meta. Comes out on a multitude of heroes today. We saw a little bit of the Rhine Brawl composition from Shanghai. Fletter coming through on towards the Mei. Later on, we had Tracer. We had, I think, the most impressive thing we saw out of Fletter today is extended plays on the Sojourn. Not something that he's been known for this year, because that's been Lip's hero. And you realistically will only ever see Fletter play that on the Circuit Royale. And yet he performs so damn good on this hero Circuit Royale. It's like, it isn't fair. It isn't fair that Shanghai Dragons can do this.
Yeah, it's not fair. They get Lip and Fletter. Someone's going to have to talk to an adjudicator about this. I need an impartiality committee to get onto this instantly. Fletter, what a game from him. Yes, the stats do look low here for the Tracer, but that's because Fletter played basically everything today. Be it the Mei, the Sojourn, or the Tracer.
It's had quite a few different heroes stacked up, so, you know, that's all the stats from only the Tracer, but like I said, doesn't paint the full picture across everything else that he did play. So Fletter getting back-to-back play of the matches here, I think well-deserved. Had a bit of a rough time with the rest of the squad during that 0-6 period in Week 1. Was mostly benched in the kickoff clash as well in favor of Huayu's Genji, which is fair enough. Fletter did actually come into play a bit of the Reaper, so we never got to see him kind of flex over to his true potential of different heroes. But now that flower is blossoming once again. The Shanghai Dragons in top tier form after losing 2 games. They've gone 4 in a row. And, you know, they're really fighting hard for that second seed. Hangzhou Spark, if they do win tomorrow's game, they'll take it away from the Shanghai Dragons, but at least Shanghai Dragons have given themselves the best shot. Any final words?
Yeah, APAC all done, but there's an exciting one over in North America in just a couple of hours. Avril, we're going to be opening up with Vancouver Titans versus the Washington Justice. Washington Justice are in a little bit of a tailspin right now, And they can no longer qualify, of course, for Midseason Madness. All the teams have clinched. Vancouver Titans are still looking for that elusive first win. Deepay's been doing his lessons. Will it be against the team that on paper has some of the most potential of any Overwatch League team? That is going to be the one to watch in North America.
All right, well, look forward to that one. That'll be happening in, 5-ish hours, whatever.
Yeah, about
time
5 hours.
works for you, but we're going to be heading off now. It is Dunzo, 3 matches, 3 maps per, 9 total. And we're out of here. Mid-Season Madness Qualifiers, Day 2 for the final week. Signing off. See you tomorrow.
I have it. Keep fighting. You're powered up. Get in there. I am unstoppable. It's go time.